You already got your answers or no?
No, it was about national team a little bit, yeah.
The national team and the entire
Yeah.
process.
You know, because many people, if you speak face, because when you sit and chat with many people in India about India national team and football, also with fans, many people are busy with the final product. You know, final product and not with the consequences and this process, how you have to create that result. You know, everybody says, hey, you know, result, hey, World Cup. Yeah, but the whole thing that you have to do, it's like when you see a nice car, saying, wow, what a nice car, Mercedes, Porsche, but you never think about what's the process about building that car, you know, what's the under the hood, engine, all the small details and everything. And that's important. In developed football, that's important. Otherwise, when you face those developed countries who developed it, no chance. They beat you. Yeah, that's reality, that's true. Okay.
ISL. Back to ISL.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, but everybody went through that process. You know, all the leagues in the world, one day they were ISL, so there is nothing wrong with that. It's like step by step.
Okay.
Yep.
Good afternoon, coach.
Afternoon.
You come into this game facing a defeat in your previous game. What do you have thoughts of your game tomorrow?
Well, you know, it's always a tough away game, you know, far away from Kochi. Flying, arriving here, especially seeing the fact that we played in the last 7 days 2 more games, with also heavy away game in Jamshedpur. Yeah, kind of a couple of changings, couple of new names, couple of guys who will make a debut. You know, seeing some young players making their first steps in ISL, wanting to get them also playing time for their future. You know, development part of ISL future for young players. And, you know, kind of getting some players also fresh now with fresh legs on the pitch, because it's exhausted in a short time of period to play many games now. So, you know, kind of wanting to play a good game, motivating, want to see the guys being motivating to face tomorrow's opponent and try to get best out of it. So, speaking about the fact that we are qualified already for the playoffs, you know, wanting to get some positive moments, especially for these young boys up front, you know, building up for the playoffs. That's it.
Coach, is it true you've traveled without your foreigners?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there are a couple of them, but many of them will not take part in tomorrow's game. No need for that, because travel to Jamshedpur was exhausted, you know, 14 hours back, 14 hours forth, you know. It cost us that we couldn't practice. It cost us that we lost a couple of them due to injuries. So a couple of them, they need to refresh. A couple of them, they need to take a rest. So we want to have fresh players for tomorrow's game. So we left a couple of these guys in Kochi, so they didn't arrive. We took some young players from the B team.
my next question is for Lara. Lara, how is the mood in the dressing room, especially given you guys have already qualified for the playoffs?
So we are already qualified, but we are taking these games seriously. And we are focused for that, because these 2 games will give us more like good energy, positive energy for the playoff games. And yeah, we are much focused for that, and we are ready for that.
Coach, given how tight it was becoming, you know, in this top 6 spot thing, did you expect this season to be so tight for the 6th spot?
Well, I expected that the top table and the bottom table divides like it was divided. So because the difference between top teams in this league and the bottom teams is huge. So it was obvious that already in the half of the season that we see who will be up, who will be down. Of course, fighting for these, let's say, 2 spots, 5th and 6th, it was kind of still like deciding. But the difference was there, you know, and the fixtures were different for many teams, and many teams were in difficulties to manage all those games or all those changings. So, you know, at the end, it became more tight down there for the 6th spot, I'd say, 5th and 6th. So, but again, you know, the league was interesting, many interesting games. Even there were, again, many difficult and tough decisions, many mistakes, many individual mistakes. Again, you know, many difficult referees' decision. But again, without these new technologies, VAR, it's also difficult for them. So anyway, kind of, we've seen what we expected. So it's been third year in a row that we are here. It was kind of their improvements, but it's a slow project step by step. So, now it's 2 more games for some teams. For some teams, I think tonight and in the next period for 3 games. But anyway, I think the top table very soon will be decided. Even I think the Shield probably will be decided before the last games. So at the end, playoffs again, it's different feeling. But anyway, the feeling of people entering into playoffs, it will be played immediately after the season, this regular part starts. So it will be kind of going with the flow. So I felt in the last, let's say, 2-3 weeks, weather-wise, that it changed a lot, and it became more difficult for some players when you go for home-away games. But anyway, as a player, you have to deal with that. You take that in consideration. So again, going with the flow, trying to get the best out of every game, getting players as fresh as possible, ready for the game, and especially if you have these kind of fixtures, traveling up and down in a short period. So yeah. That's okay.
Coach, you've been here for some time now in the ISL. Have you seen any significant improvement in your squad and overall in the league and the Indian players in particular?
Well, if we speak about our squad, yes, because since we started, the vision of our owners and the vision of the club is always to giving time and space to younger players who are growing up. Because we as a club, we are known that 3rd year in a row we have the youngest team. Okay, now this year Hyderabad is doing but they were obliged to do that, with all the bans, all the problems they had. Even my honest opinion, at the end of this season, I would give Hyderabad also one kind of medal, because everything what they were going through, hats off to them, really. Guys, they're still fighting with enthusiasm, even with all the troubles. The bad thing, when you see about project in ISL, club like Hyderabad, getting the trophy 2 years ago, yet dropping in this kind of situation, it means that every club has to find a possible option and, let's say, formula how to function as a club, how to stay independent, sustainable, financial stable, which we in our club were taking care of it, because you cannot just go away throwing out the money for something that you don't have. And of course, I think that may be improvement in a way about salary caps, especially, for one group of players, because that kind of thing makes the teams not financially stable. So the clubs, I cannot find any club, I think, in the league who is at the end of the year saying okay, we are in a profit, because that kind of formula, I think and suggest, should be changed. Many other things, again, about the new technologies helping the referees becoming better, VAR technology and everything, which is already present all around, worldwide for a couple of years. It could be a huge improvement. I think that if we speak about next year, there will be one more club, and everybody's saying maybe that will improve the quality. I don't think so it will be the case. I think that even the difference, like we said, between top table and bottom will be even bigger. That gap will increase, because the product is not there. There are not enough players who will fill all the gaps. I would try to oblige all the clubs, saying you all have to invest in your training centers, you all have to invest in developing young players, youth system, giving them time to grow up, trying to implement those projects and trying to improve that, because these guys are about to grow up later to become important parts of young national teams, senior national team, which will also help national team improve, because with that, the present format and everything, at the end, like we said, end product is national team. If it keeps going like that, there will never be the result with national teams. So that's kind of issue that the federation will have to sit down and say, okay, how we improve that all together with ISL, because ISL is your highest level. So ISL clubs will have to produce that product. If the ISL clubs, they don't do that, there will be no more product for national teams. So, and then at the end, the senior level, the final product will drop down, decrease even more on the FIFA ranking. And I think these kind of improvements, obliging teams, invest in your training center, invest in your youth, invest in development of players who can become important parts of your senior teams, improve your clubs in every possible way with administration, logistics and all possible things, trying to make it easier with all these, home away games, trying to improve the formula of ISL playing system, not having like that 1 game a day or 2 games or something like that, because then you get irregular season where some teams they play 16 games, some teams they play 12 games. That's not regular, Trying 12 teams, very easy. Many countries in the world they're playing with 12 teams. So Friday 1 game, Saturday 3 games, Sunday 2 games. You're okay. You have enough time to practice. You have enough time to prepare. You have enough time to invest in your time to work with the team, with the players. In a weekend, every weekend we play football, no problem. So then last 2 games of the competition, or like always all around the world, 2 or 3 games, everybody must play at the same time, same day. Like that you avoid irregularities where many clubs can calculate and saying, why should I go there and play with my strongest team? Because, and it brings many uncertainties, irregularities in the league where I would try to improve that, So, or some teams saying, like, we're qualified, we don't care anymore. Or some teams saying, you know what, we won this cup in January, so we don't have to play anymore until the end of the season because we have already kind of qualification for AFC or whatever it is. So these kind of things I would try to improve, implementing the cup, whatever cup we play from the beginning of the season, within the season, in the fixtures. 2-3 games ISL, cup game. 2-3 games ISL, cup game. Like that you have all the players ready, you can rotate, everybody's concerned, everybody's there, involved. If you just cut the season twice, like it was in January and now, so twice you put all the teams back to zero, reset. So now when you have to restart, you get again many injuries, and most probably many teams will not be playing the playoffs with the strongest teams. So there are many steps that my opinion, personal, but it's about the federation together with ISL. From our side, Kerala Blasters, we try to improve our club the best way we can. With the players we want to, to build up. I think 3 years in a row, 3 playoffs, it never happened in Kerala Blasters. I think that it never happened that with one staff, one club in ISL qualifies 3 times in a row for playoffs. So for us, it's a good achievement, I think, seeing the fact where the club was standing a long time before. But again, there are many steps that had to be taken. We will do our best to do that, improve the club, have that energy with the fans, with the community, trying not to suffer a lot with the training infrastructure and everything. So all these small details make difference. So I hope that we will see again, because there are huge space for improvements, because I like being here.
Coach, your thoughts on your opponents tomorrow, Northeast United FC?
Yeah, the team who suffered in the past a lot, with the new staff, new coach, good approach, some new good players. They created a nice environment, nice team who can participate and most probably later be in the playoffs. So who knows? They have all the qualities. So, it's a good team, especially when they're playing at home. Tough team. So, like I always like to say, let's have a good game, nice fair play game, let the better team wins. Thank you, guys.
Coach, what about the injury? Luna is not coming back.
No,
What about the others?
Luna is not with us. Diamantakos is not with us. Fedor Černý is not with us. And most of the players who played the last game, they will be on the bench. So because playing this kind of games on a short term, like it's too risky, and some of them already they have some problems. So if you destroy them now, so believe me that I still have the feeling that I'm in Jamshedpur now, because last week we were traveling, because Kochi Jamshedpur is for us 14 hours travel. Then we stayed there. We get back to Kochi. We didn't have a training session. Then we had to play against East Bengal. The morning, immediately after the game, yesterday we hit the road. We arrived last night late. So today, a little bit refreshment. Tomorrow game. Day after that, going back. So actually, I still don't know if maybe some players, they're still in some airports. I don't know, So whoever comes tomorrow, they will play.
You have few suspension in the last match, and Dixon is not playing tomorrow.
Yeah, also Jigson, Naucha, Hormipam.
And so, Vipin is taking the charge of the midfield. Is Vipin Mohan?
He's with us. He's with us now. But again, he was playing Look, he was playing 2 games in the last couple of days. Before that, 2 nights before the game in Jamshedpur, he arrived from Malaysia because he was with national team. So many of them, like Fedor, arrived 2 nights before the game in Jamshedpur from Europe. He was flying around Europe playing games. Jigson arrived also from national team. So they are kind of exhausted, you know, like, especially now in this part, with all these travels and everything, and 3 games in that short period. I don't know. I would also try to improve that for the next season, speaking about people who are organizing these fixtures, you know, taking in consideration these things, like, otherwise you just destroy the teams, you destroy the players, and especially before the end of the season. So, like, you put some teams in a situation later if they have to play in playoffs. Actually, with these kind of fixtures, you destroy the teams even before playing playoffs. So that was the point. Instead of getting them in the best shape, but, you know, sometimes I have a feeling like they don't care about the clubs, they don't care about the players, they don't care how they feel or so. But again, we have to deal with it. I don't want to use that as an excuse. Whoever is tomorrow, you know, youngsters, so fighting and wanting to see that fire from our players. So thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you. See you tomorrow. Dressing room here. Yeah.